The 70% rule is dead in wholesaling. Use this method going forward. Guys, my name's Rick, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly why the 70% rule never really worked, and it definitely doesn't work in 2026. I'm going to show you the two key issues it completely avoids. And if you stay to the end, I'll show you how to make an offer on any wholesale deal that's absolutely a no-brainer and will actually get you the deal. But before I do that, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share this video with someone who wants to learn the truth about wholesaling. So have you guys heard about it? It's called the 70% rule. And basically what this means is whatever the value of the property is, whatever you think the current as-is value of it, that you basically multiply it by 0.70%, and that will in essence give you your offer, okay? Listen, I don't make these rules up. This was stuff that I was given. So basically, you have to buy 70 cents on the dollar to make it work. But listen, that might have worked when I first started out in wholesaling, but the reality is we're in 2026. And one of the main reasons it doesn't work is because the cost of real estate has gotten so high, it basically inflates the numbers. So let me show you why. In a typical deal like this, say back then you had a $50,000 property, right? Multiply by 70%, the most I can offer on that property is $35,000. Now, some of these formulas got a little bit fancier. You would take the value, you would minus repairs, and then you would put in your wholesale fee and add it back in this part. I don't know about you, but nobody gives a crap what your wholesale fee does, and they're going to figure out what the repairs are anyways. So in my opinion, this is a complete waste of time to do it this way. So say back then when the average home value was significantly less, $50,000, but let's fast forward to today. Let's call this 2005. Okay, so let's fast forward to 2026 and show you why this doesn't work. So let's take a $500,000 home, and then you're going to multiply that by 70%, and the most you can offer on that home is $350,000. Do you see how these numbers get so just a 10x what happens to these numbers? And the bottom line is, as your numbers get bigger in real estate, the percentages, they don't work in your favor. In fact, it works the complete opposite. Can you imagine you only being able to offer $350,000 and you have to build in a buffer of $150,000 on every deal you do? The reality is you're going to lose out every time. Why? Because someone's going to offer $375, someone's going to offer $390, someone's going to offer $410. Why? Because it's easy, because you're sitting here and you're stuck on this 70% rule. So guys, just on the 70% rule, I call it like a no-brainer. Even back in 2003, I'm like, shoot, if I can buy something 70 cents on the dollar, you don't need to tell me a rule. But going forward to 2026, if I have a $500,000 house and I can only offer $350, I'm going to get beat out of the offer every time. And for this reason alone, please don't use the 70% formula. Let me show you the correct way to make an offer on any type of property you want to do. I'm going to be honest with you, the 70% rule, I even struggled with that back in 2003, 04, and 05. Why? Because it's like saying, hey, if you see a $15,000 Rolex watch on sale for $7,000, buy it. Do I really need a formula for that? That's just common sense. So the next thing we want to do is, let's just draw a line through the 70% rule. Here's what I want to do. I want to assess what my risk in any transaction as opposed to what my reward is. And this is how I'm going to make a determination if I'm going to move forward with any wholesale deal. See, the reason why you're probably attracted to wholesaling is because it's a great entry level for any type of real estate. In fact, you need zero to get into it. And that's probably why a lot of you guys are attracted to wholesaling. I know I was, and I know you are. Now, if you know it's $0 to get in and you can make a reward, potentially you're not even capped at this at $100,000, that basically gives you what we call infinite return. And guys, an infinite return is basically taking money off of no money of your own at all. It's absolutely amazing. Maybe we just put the EMD and we figure that is. If you can figure out how to get an infinite return in wholesaling, you will master this business. If you can't figure out how to get an infinite return, it's going to be troubling. Now, these are extreme case scenarios. The perfect world, we take a $0 risk and we make $100,000. But here's the reality, guys. Most of you are taking your risk, number one, with your time, with number two, with your money. Say you're leaving a $1,000 deposit. Say you had to risk a $1,000, but you have the potential to make $35,000. Is that something you want to move forward with? Yes or no? And I'm going to say an absolute yes. And then you got to just do your formulation. Okay, how much did I really make on it? Now, if I did a calculation here, 1,000 over 35,000, and you could do your return based on that percentage. And you can kind of do the calculation on this. But what I need you to do is go through your mind is, what are you really risking and what is the ultimate reward? Now, if your reward is only $1,500 and say you got to risk $3,000, we don't do deals like this. This is the formula I use to help wholesalers not waste money and time. So the reality is you're going to take some risk. Hey, what do I mean by risk? Maybe you got to pay a lawyer $1,500, and then maybe you had to put up a $500 deposit, and maybe you're in it for about $2,000, and then maybe the payoff on this is $40,000. And here's the third one you have to put in here, which is going to be your time. Okay. Now I look at it time to transaction, how much time you've put in the property. So if I have to put in 4 months of my work into this, it's going to take me 4 months to get a hearing and pay the attorney to get that to make the 40 grand. Guys, I am all into this. And this is what you have to understand. The 70% rule does not take in equation how much you're putting at risk and what the reward is. And your risk should be so much smaller. When you do the risk, your risk should be substantially smaller than the reward. In fact, I like to have it like at least 10x. So if I put in 1,000 at risk, I want to make at least 10K for what I put into it. And that is the basis of any formula I do when it comes to wholesaling. Now, I was a little bit reckless when I started out wholesaling. I didn't understand deposits and all that other stuff. So what I want to show you now is how you can truly make an offer on any property in wholesaling, because you're not stuck and confined by this stupid 70% rule. And now you're going to ask yourself, what is my risk versus reward, understanding that the risk has to be substantially less than the reward. Because if you had to put up 10 grand to make a grand, you ain't gonna last in business very long. So if we understand that, let me show you how to make any offer on any property in the United States of America. Number one, just figure out what its ARV is on the property. So let's say the property is worth $300,000. Bingo. Now, we're not gonna use the 70% rule, because the 70% rule limits me to offering 210K, which is never gonna work. So 300,000, and then basically let's just assume my EMD is going to be $1,000 deposit. That's your EMD. So what you're at risk for is the $1,000. Now, let me ask you this. Is the EMD, are you really at risk? The answer is no, because you have a 14-day inspection period, or whatever, 14-day inspection. So once again, I've mitigated your risk back down to zero, as long as you follow the terms of the contract. So I got a $1,000 deposit. I have a $300,000 property. Let's say it needs 15 grand worth of work. So if it needs 15 grand worth of work, we minus the 15, that basically puts the value of the property about 285,000. Now, I got to make an offer. This is simple. I don't care about the 70% rule. And what I want you to do is go over to freewholesaling.com. I'll show you exactly how we structure these offers, but I like to make it so simple and so stupid that anybody can do it. So it's 300,000. I know it needs 15,285. I'm simply going to cut the property in half or multiply it by 60%. So if I come up with 300 times 60, my offer is going to be, ready for this? 180,000. Rick, how'd you come up with that number? I don't give a crap. That's the thing is, I'm going to risk $1,000, which really is not risk. The ARV is roughly 300,000. I know it needs work. I made him an offer of 180,000. Why? Because I fully expect to be rejected. And if I'm going to be rejected, I might as well get the information to get the deal under contract. So say it's worth I offer 180. Guy goes, what are you, crazy, Rick? You want me to actually seriously consider an offer below 200,000 when you know it's worth 300? I go, dude, don't shoot me over the bow. You didn't give me a number. I'm just making you an offer. What do you think? I shut my mouth. He's going to come back. He's like, well, you know what? I could probably do like 225. Okay. So by me ignoring the 70% rule, I just get straight to the counter offer. And when I have the counter offer, guys, watch this. Now I'm working from a range of basically 180K to 225K. Where do you think I'm going to wind up? See, if I went with the 70% rule, I would have offered 210 and I just would have been stuck. So I offered 180. I knew it was going to be rejected. He came back to 225. And let me ask you this. Can I offer to settle in the middle? Rick, I read a book that says You should never split the difference. That's correct, other than if you follow the strategy that Rick and Zach teach you. So I made such a low offer. I offered 180. The difference between 180 and that is 45,000. So if I split that in half, what was that? 22.5. So let me ask you this. If I offered 180 and then I added 22, would that put me at 202.5? Let me ask you, are you okay splitting the difference? Splitting the difference is an amazing, amazing way to get your clients to their number if you go with the original wholesale offer without doing the 70%. Now, I want to show you one other thing in this. The last thing you got to understand, say the counter offer is 225 and you go, hey, I just can't get to that number. That's fine. You ignored the 70% rule. That's great. Now we're going to do what we call basically reverse wholesaling. And this doesn't need a formula or anything. You know what you need? You need to know what your cash buyer tolerance to buy this deal. What do you mean by that? Well, I already know he'll take 225. I can probably get him down to 210 to 215K, okay? But remember, this is outside of my comfort of the numbers. The 70% rule is just an old wise tale philosophy on how to buy dirt cheap property. And I agree with it to a point. But are you going to walk away from the deal? What if you could get him to take your $215,000 offer and then you sell it for 225? But wait a minute, Rick, it doesn't meet the 70% rule. You're right. But if you do reverse wholesaling, all you have to do is find out what your cash buyer is willing to pay for the property, and then you make the difference. On this, I make 10K. I'm going to put up a 0 risk because my EMD, I'm going to get replaced right away, the $1,000. What's my return, guys? It's infinite. And if you can start doing deals where you get infinite returns, if you take deals and throw away the 70% rule, and then worst case scenario, do a reverse wholesale deal where you know your numbers aren't going to make it, but you find a cash buyer that's looking for a deal that wants to take action right now, and all you got to do is get a number slightly lower than yours, and these are singles and doubles that you can take all day long in wholesaling. So if you stick this 70% rule, I guarantee you'll be out of business. And once again, guys, I just want to remind you that the 70% rule is dead in 2026 because the numbers for the average home in the United States are just too big for that 30% to make up to the difference. So here's what we typically do to counter offer this. We do a go for no strategy. We always make sure our risk is much lower than our reward. Number two, we shoot for an infinite return. If you can learn infinite versus 70%, you understand how math and wholesaling works. And number three, the best thing you can do when the numbers get tight and you can't make it do work is what we call reverse wholesaling, which is basically you work with your cash buyer and you work from the cash buyer and you just work it backwards to the wholesale deal. And then that's how you make your assignment of contract. And guys, the last thing you'll learn on this, I forgot to put it out here, when you do it this way, splitting the difference is winning in wholesaling. It's a win. Why? Because you used the go for no tactic, which came in at a much lower than you ever anticipate. And almost everybody will split the difference. And if you went with a wholesale number and then you're splitting the difference, you're doing amazing. If you go with like a medium-sized number and you split the difference, you're overpaying for your properties. And I don't want you guys to do it. So guys, if you're using the 70% rule, just lose it. Once again, learn how to do go for no. Weigh your risk reward. Risk should be lower than reward. Figure out how to get an infinite return versus doing a 70% rule. And remember, if you do the go for no method, you can do the splitting the difference just like that. It's a win-win. And on the deals that your numbers don't work as a wholesaler, I want you to work it backwards from the cash buyer. And that's how you figure out your assignment of contract. I don't want you to become realtors, but guys, 70%. If I had to sit down here and wait around the 70% rule, I would be broke. I would never do a deal. And it's unrealistic in 2026. So guys, let me know in the comments, what rules are you using in your wholesaling? Are you using these three methods? And do you truly understand what an infinite return is? Let me know in the comments, guys. If you got value from this video, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this video with someone who wants to learn the truth about wholesaling. This is Rick Ginn. I'll see you in the next video.